Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning into Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. My name is Anthony and I am your host. Now, we are very excited. Of course, we are up at about the Investor Week, which is going to be happening from the 21st to the 25th of October. And we, as Smart 24 TV and Financial Markets, are going to be giving you all the details from Monday to Friday, whatever will be unfolding during the Investor Week. Please keep tuned into Smart 24 TV online, on DSTV and GoTV, and all our platforms on X and so on, which I'll be giving you all the content as it unfolds. Now, ahead of this week, of course, we have so many activities and we want you to know about them. And who else can do it better than the manager of Public Relations and Communications at CMA, Lean 2K. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight joining me on the show is none other than Lean, our very own here. And Lean has done a wonderful job when it comes to communicating financial markets and capital markets to Ugandans, investor education, and also, of course, mobilizing the masses concerning the World Investor Week. Lean, you're most welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, always nice being here at Smart 24, where you bring us the news on the financial markets.
Yeah.
So maybe if I can talk about, of course, you've already introduced me. My name is Lean 2K. I'm in charge of communications and public relations at the Capital Markets Authority. And the Capital Markets Authority is a regulatory body that is responsible for overseeing, regulating, and developing the capital markets industry in Uganda. We were set up in 1996 by an act of parliament, that's the Capital Markets Act, and we are here to protect investors investing in the capital markets. So what we are discussing today is the upcoming World
the
Investor
upcoming
Week.
and we want to start with how often has this been happening?
Yeah.
Has it been happening every year?
Every year.
Is it a one-off event?
Yeah.
For how many years back does it date?
So we have been part of the IOSCO World Investor Week for as long as I can remember. Well, ever since I've joined the authority, because we are part of the international organization for the securities exchanges and authorities across the world. So that's an organization that brings us together. And we have dedicated at least 1 week every year to educate the masses about the capital markets, because we know there is low awareness in this space, probably because of the big jargon that we all use. And this is when we say we have to break it down and at least dedicate a week. We do this all year, but I think dedicating a week of activities where we bring the public is one thing that we see fit doing. Yeah. And maybe just to talk about the theme this year.
Yes, the theme. What's the theme?
We're talking about tech-enabled financial inclusion, and we're saying we are bringing sustainable finance and investment opportunities to everyone, to all groups, even those that are underserved, like the women groups, like the youth, and yet the majority of our country. And you're saying, how can we break it down? And because these days, everyone has a smartphone. At least the majority of them are using smartphones. If you see that if you were to look at the latest UCC figures, most people are actually using technology. And I actually saw the most interesting statistic, which was very recent, that 50% of the internet is being used on TikTok. Imagine. But that goes to show you that the internet is playing a very good role, and therefore technology, harnessing that and using it as a communication channel to communicate some of the investment opportunities we have for the young people, the youth, the female, the male, would be a very good start.
Why tech-enabled financial inclusion this time round? Why did you choose to look at tech? Because when you look at the awareness bit, we are lagging behind so much in terms of reaching out. And like you mentioned, TikTok as being one of the channels that people actually watch every single day, you know. And, you know, we have a very low attention span. Our Ugandans don't have the time to look at a show of maybe 2 hours to see how you're going to do all this analysis and stuff. But why did you choose this time round to go tech?
I think it's for One good reason, and that's because the world has moved on, right? And even as businesses, when we are serving people in the community, we need to be using the latest trends that can be harnessed as the time goes on. Sticking to the traditional methods may not really help, especially if people are not are no longer interested, right? And so as businesses, and I'm looking at the intermediaries that we regulate as the Capital Markets Authority, they need to find newer ways of attracting their customers, not just in terms of communication, but also how easy is your system to use for the layman. When you talk about user experience, you're talking about the user interface. Have you updated the latest technology so that it's easy for them to, for example, log in every time they're getting into the system? Giving an example of the USE Easy portal that's actually going to be launched on the World Investor Week, I think on Friday, which I'll run through the program with you. But you see, that goes to show you that businesses, for them to thrive and even get a much bigger market and attract that market, they need to sort of have a system that's easy to use, that's technologically usable, and also use communication channels that can fit into where the world is at the moment. And then when it comes to sustainable finance, we're really looking at even those businesses that are looking to raise capital. How are you going to sustain that capital? Which systems do you have in place? Do you have good corporate governance, for example, in place? Because those are some of the things that will help you live longer in terms of a sustainable business.
Keeping books of accounts.
Keeping books of accounts, you know, such things. But also doing things like ESG, you know, things that you know will make us, even as the people on Earth, on Mother Earth, survive. Because where will you have your business if the Mother Earth is distracted in the next 50, 40 years? So those are some of the things we'll be discussing, but most importantly, how can we serve all the groups of our country people?
Amazing. Let's walk right through the program. You have a week-long program, and we want to know what is in there for who. Let's start with Monday.
So Monday, of course, we'll be having a press conference in the morning. But that's just again to unveil it officially. That is on the 21st of October. Then that evening on Monday, we'll have an X-Space. And that X-Space is really to attract the youth. And what we are looking at is getting the intermediaries in the space of, for example, unit trusts, dealing in the brokerage firms, how to sell and invest in shares. And we are breaking it down for the youth to understand that you can start investing with as low as 20,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings. And all these players are going to be on that X-Space explaining exactly how a youth can actually join in investing in the capital markets with just their mobile phone, right? And so that is something that we look forward to having all the youth participate on. It will be held, of course, by the Capital Markets Authority X handle and the Uganda Securities Exchange X handle. So please join in.
Let's look at, now you're looking at Monday. You have all these two events, and then there's a bell ringing event.
Yes.
What is that?
So the bell ringing event, as we've had about securities exchanges worldwide. For example, when an IPO, that's the initial public offering, is happening of shares. And this is when a company is coming together to say, hey, we are trying to raise capital, and is telling the public, please buy a unit of ownership in our company. And what we shall do is we shall help you grow your investments in the capital markets, as we also get the money from you to grow our business. And so there is that first event that is called the bell ringing, where you actually have the team at the USE
Do that
ringing
traditional
the,
bell.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a bit fancy, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's just a sign of a new, capital is in the market, and yeah, so that is really it for Monday.
Okay.
Then Wednesday we have the Women Investment Breakfast.
Okay.
So here we are looking at, of course, some of the.
When is the men's investment breakfast?
Okay. Should we go into that?
Let's push it for the women.
Well, women, in terms of statistics, of course, and not leaving the very important norm that if you educate a woman, you've educated the whole society. But women are as well considered an underserved market, especially in our country, Uganda, looking at our past where they were not allowed to go to school. Finally, we are at school. But how can we have
look at CMA. You've occupied the whole of it, from the CEO to all the way down to...
She is the very first
female CEO.
So that tells you
amongst
something.
Many, yeah.
That tells you something.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we are trying to involve women more. And even in the capital market space, you see that the rate at which men invest in capital markets is way higher than the women. So how can we get these women participate in the capital market? So that's why we have dedicated Wednesday, which is the 23rd of October. It will be at Protea Hotel, Kampala. Okay. And we are just calling upon...
Which one? There are many Proteas in Kampala.
The one right in the middle of the city.
Okay.
Protea Hotel, Kampala. Yes. If you use Google Maps, I'm sure you'll be able to reach. Okay. But we're looking at testimonials of business owners, women-led, business-led, women-led businesses. I think that's the word. Yes. So, and they're giving their opportunities and the challenges they have faced to encourage.
I know, I see MTN here. And
there is MTN, but MTN has a female CEO, and MTN just listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange. So what is that experience like, right? As a woman, I think hearing from a fellow woman, it would be easier to have the message taken home, because if this other woman is making it, how about me? But we are also having women who are just leading startups, right? And they have also raised capital. And we are looking at also the women who have just left campus, right? The youth. Yep. So we are just getting inspirational stories, success stories that we can have delivered to the people that are looking out there, either to invest as a lay man, lay woman, or you're just looking to raise capital for your business. So all these conversations are going to be had. What makes it tick? What can we improve? There will also be policy conversations. So yeah, we are very keen to listen to that. And
I'm seeing also UN women representatives will also be there.
Yes, the UN woman representative will be there. Of course, that's serving as an anchor to also provide the statistics in terms of how they have seen the impact and how it's growing or not growing. So really, it's just to show the growth, and maybe perhaps in the future we can actually work on collaborations that can help serve others. Wow. Yeah. I think the Thursday one is the very interesting one, because we are having university public lectures. Okay. And we're saying all universities across the country are coming to the CMA auditorium. That's on 24th of October. And we are looking at...
Where is the CMA auditorium? I want our viewers to be very, very certain.
So CMA is on Baskerville Avenue, on a building called the Uganda Business Facilitation Center, 8th floor.
The home of URSB.
The home of URSB, UIA, Presidential CEO Forum, where we have this whole business facilitation agencies just helping for all those looking to help their businesses in one way or another.
Opposite City High School.
Yeah. This guy has been here so many times. All right, I mean, for the universities, we're just saying, let's start young. If they understand what capital markets is at a younger stage, it's then very easy for when they get their first salary to at least put 10% of it in the capital market space.
That's right.
Say a unit trust, buy a share, buy a corporate bond, a treasury bill, and just to have your future secured in one way or another, because the interests are almost guaranteed, especially the risk. It's next to none. And so, yeah, those are some of the things we'll be discussing with them.
How many all universities are invited?
All universities in Uganda are invited. We are working with the CFA Uganda to hold, because they always have these meetings with these universities. Yes, then the last event is on the 25th of October. That's the Capital Markets Roundtable. It's really the culmination of all the activities that we shall be having. And from there, we're just saying all the players of the capital markets, come, let's have a conversation. And there will be a room of 200, 300 people that will be attending. And all we're saying is, what are the policies, regulatory policies, and how can we improve? There are policies that have actually not been taken advantage of, like the REITs, the real estate investments. Such things, why are we not taking those up? But also we shall have the market intermediaries themselves talking about their clientele, their bases, and again, their experiences. So this is the culmination, and we are calling upon all Ugandans to at least live stream. I mean, Smart 24 will be live streaming. So please tune in and watch the whole event as it goes. I think we shall also be expecting the minister in charge of capital markets, that's the General Duties Minister. And so please attend. I think it will be a very interesting one for
Let them not send a proxy. This is not an AGM. Attend in person.
Attend in person, yes. Attend in person.
Wow. So who is invited in particular for this, the final event? Are individuals invited for the physical meeting? Are investors invited? Who is invited for this particular
Yes, of course, it's going to be at Serena Hotel, and because of the limited numbers, we tried to as well do the virtual event because not everyone can make it. But of course, all the intermediaries, like I mentioned, will be in the room. But we shall also be having players in the financial sector space because the theme is also about financial inclusion. So we cannot neglect all the other financial sector players. Look at Bank of Uganda, look at UMRA, FSSF. So all these will be coming to join us. And what we're also looking at is individuals that have invested because they'll be giving us some of their testimonies. So we've invited some of them. Some of you who have not been invited, please tune in because the room can only be so big to accommodate everyone. But that's why we have the live stream option.
Sure, amazing. Now let's look at this USE CMA collaboration. Why has it been highlighted so much this time round? Why is it highlighted?
Yeah, so I think in the past we have been all participating. Well, the CMA has always been the sole representative from the IOSCO field, but the CMA has been independently having the World Investor Week, and the USA was independently having the World Investor Week. So we saw an opportunity to merge forces and just make it bigger and
stronger
better.
Together.
Yes, stronger together, you know. Two heads are better than one. But also because we regulate the USE, it is also important that we get to know from the point of an intermediary, how would they prefer an event, public education event such as this to be held. So joining heads together was really a good one, and we're also very big on partnerships. Sustainability is about partnerships. If you can't partner and exactly to make it reach bigger audiences, then it's going to be easy. It's going to be hard for you to sustain whatever you're doing, right? And so even in the future, we're looking at more partnerships with other intermediaries. So we are open to this whole collaboration agenda.
What are some of the key performance indicators for this World Investor Week? What are some of the things that you're going to look at? Okay, after this week, we've achieved this, this, and that. What would be some of those?
I think for me, the big one would be on capital raising options, because in the past, you have seen so many investment scams happening. And you find that there's either two things. One is that the people investing in these scams do not know the investment opportunities in the capital markets, and therefore you have to educate them. But also, two, the businesses that have viable options to raise capital are not aware that they should be able to do it in a very professional way by coming to us for a no objection or for a license, and so we are able to give them a go ahead and guide them on some of the key things that we should be very confident about, so that we can encourage investors to invest in them, because that's our mandate anyway. And so if you are a business out there and you think you have a viable business solution, please come to the capital markets in order to raise capital, to collect money from the public with a no objection from us or a license. And then it's very easy for us to work together to make sure that you're able to get all the capital that you need. But most importantly, if you're an investor out there and you do not know about investment opportunities, please, this is a great time for you to learn more about investing in the capital markets.
So after the World Investor Week, we usually see lots of, it's end of year, and, fourth quarter, we had an IPO last year around this time, and the heat was so high in the markets. So what are we looking forward to post the World Investor Week? What is that something that we're going to look at as something that's going to take up a lot of our time, especially when it comes to investing in the stock market and maybe the fixed income securities?
I see you want content for your show. Anthony, but we're cooking. We're actually cooking. There's so many licenses that we're working on in the background, and we expect this to even become more and more evident, especially in the coming months after the World Investor Week. We're expecting more participation in terms of investing in unit trusts, bonds, shares, and you talk about the fixed income market. There are so many other policy regulations that are coming up. Like I said, you're looking for content, probably, but I may not be able to disclose at this moment. But we are working on so many things in regards to the Uganda fixed income market, and of course I'll be here to let the viewers know once that is solidified. And so investor education really is the important one, because most of the Ugandans out here are just getting to know about investing in some of our asset classes like bonds, treasury bills, and shares, because they have had MTN and Airtel coming to list. This is something that is part of their lives. They make calls every day. But also the unit trusts, because they're hearing all these fund managers now making money for their people. I mean, if the NSSF interest rate was at 11.5 just this year, and unit trust is also offering you about the same in terms of interest annually, why not be interested? So these conversations will have to keep going on.
Amazing. Finally, as we come down to the end of this show, you know, when you look at the Capital Markets Authority, one of your mandates is to actually do public, education, especially in as far as the capital markets are concerned. Are you dedicating, for example, the next 1 year towards the next, we're looking at the next World Investor Week 2025, to have as many people educated, and how are you going to do that? Yes.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for looking ahead. You're now talking sustainability. So for the next 5 years, actually, we do have a plan that has been drafted for just even the World Investor Week, and we are hoping to make it even bigger and better than this year. Like I said, in the last years, we did not really, were not so big on collaborations, but now this is something that we are doubling down on. And even this year, you're seeing so many people interested in being a part of it. So I can only imagine if we start the preparation as early as end of this year to talk about the upcoming one. I think the key one, what you're raising is in terms of numbers, how can you even get bigger, maybe even perhaps go to the airfield and have everyone attend. And I say, why not? So we are already thinking about that.
Amazing. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your parting shots, Lynn, as of course you're going to go into a very busy weekend, I guess. And we might not be able to see you so often next week as well. But your parting shots to our viewers.
Check on me over the weekend. But yes, the World Investor Week is one that you should not miss out on. If you're anywhere in the country, just tune in our live streaming apps. We'll have Smart 24 TV as one of our key partners, but also we will have YouTube for CMA and USE active to give you all these different information pieces that you may have missed out. Also, after World Investor Week, we shall be updating. So do not think that you've missed out just because you have not attended this one. Just make sure you follow us on our social media pages. Visit our website on www.cmauganda.co.ug, and all our contact information is there. If you have any idea about an unregulated investment opportunity out there and you think they are actually scamming people, please call us on our toll-free lines, which are available on our website.
Oh.
Okay?
Yep. There you have it. And that's it from us today. Please watch out for next week. We're going to be having all these events live on Smart 24 TV. Lynn, thank you so much for coming. Wish you a very good week and weekend, first and foremost. And looking forward to seeing you next week as well.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Smart 24.
That's it. Goodbye. See you next week.